Great. Well, good morning, everyone. Certainly a pleasure for us to join the Cotton Board this morning on this program.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all.
This is kind of a special opportunity for us because Megan and I actually did the presentation for the first Cotton and Coffee. So we are delighted that this venue and this opportunity continues to do well and that the participation is so strong. It's really an excellent opportunity to learn more about different subjects, like the one today. Today's subject we're calling Cotton Can Be the Choice. And the whole idea here is that the companies that we work with at Cotton Incorporated, the many retailers, brands, manufacturers around the world, they have a choice. And simply because we grow cotton in the United States doesn't mean that people are going to use cotton. And one of the things that we're faced with in the Cotton Research and Promotion Program is how to market cotton, how to call out different aspects of cotton so that cotton can be the choice, the ingredient, rather than many other types of fibers that are available. So we have to work for cotton to be that choice. And we thought we would share with you this morning a sense of how that choice is made and then what we're doing at Cotton Incorporated to ensure that cotton is in the best position possible to be the choice. So the first thing I'd like to talk about here is how companies make the decision to use cotton or any other fiber. So if you're a clothing designer, you're asking yourself this question: which fiber should I use? Polyester, nylon, lyocell, uh, acetate, cotton? What should I put in this product? And really, when we work with companies, there are three reasons, primary reasons, why people make the decision to use cotton or not use cotton. And these reasons are form the vertices of this triangle, and we call this the marketing triangle. And essentially what this means is when you look at anything, whether that's shirts or jeans or slacks or dresses, a designer will ask, well, what's the marketing advantage? Is it because it's natural, or maybe there's a strong consumer preference, or there's some other type of marketing benefit? What are the economics around the fiber? What does it cost to use this fiber? What does it cost to buy the raw material? How are those costs expressed in manufacturing? Does it cost more or less than other types of fibers and ingredients? And a third part of this triangle is technology and performance. Can you do something differently with this fiber? If we use cotton, can we do something different? Or is there a technological advantage to using polyester or nylon or something else? So this is the basic marketing triangle that exists. This is the fiber choice. And increasingly, especially over the last 10 years, more and more retailers and brands are saying, well, the marketing triangle is great. We're going to think about marketing and economics and technology. But in order for your fiber to be eligible to get in the triangle, we need to see some other information. You've got to establish confidence in your fiber as it relates to sustainability, circularity, recycling, biodegradability, these kinds of issues. And increasingly, companies are saying, how does your fiber, how does cotton stack up against other fibers when it comes to important aspects like sustainability? And if you can convince us that we can be confident with cotton, then we'll go and evaluate whether it makes economic, marketing, or technological sense to use cotton. So that's the basic paradigm. That's the basic decision process that companies go through. So if we look at this marketing triangle, marketing, technology, economics, I want to talk about economics for a moment. And that really is the price of cotton relative to other fibers. And while cotton prices are not great right now, compared to polyester, cotton prices are actually in a pretty difficult position. Take a look at this chart. And what I want you to focus on in this chart is the black line with the arrow and the number 1. What that means is anything above the 1 shows that the ratio of cotton to polyester price is greater than 1, meaning cotton is more expensive than polyester. If cotton prices are less expensive than polyester, they'd be below that black line. If they were the same as polyester, of course, they'd be on the line, the number 1 black line. But here's what we see in the last 12 months. If you look at the price of cotton relative to polyester, the Chinese price relative to the Chinese polyester price, you can see that cotton is actually almost twice as much as the price of polyester inside China. And you have to remember, even with all the changes with China that are going on, China is still the largest textile manufacturer in the world. So cotton is at a price disadvantage in that market. If we look at the yellow line, that's India. That's the price of cotton in India relative to the price of polyester in India. And you can see here, cotton is about 50% more expensive than polyester. And even in Pakistan, a major cotton producer, compared to the domestic polyester price, you can also see that the green line is above that black line. The red line in this picture, the second one from the top, is the A index, and that's basically the best proxy or indicator of a world price for cotton. And if you look at the world price for cotton relative to the price of Chinese polyester, the dominant polyester in the world market, you can see that even in the latest data point for January 2025, cotton prices are about 60% higher than polyester. So the message here is that while cotton prices are not great in the market, absolutely we are at a disadvantage in the economics corner of this triangle. And at Cotton Incorporated and with the Cotton Research and Promotion Program, we really can't affect the world price for cotton. What we can do, though, is make sure that we can strengthen the ability to market cotton at the other parts of the triangle. So if we're at a disadvantage on cost, and we never, ever want to go in and say, well, buy us, we're the cheapest fiber. That's not the way we market cotton. We never do that. We want to say, well, cotton may cost more, but here are the other reasons, the other things you as a brand, retailer, or clothing designer need to be aware of. And here are the reasons why cotton should still be the choice. There are marketing reasons, there are technology reasons, there's sustainability reasons. So a lot of what we do at Cotton Incorporated is push this choice and try and make it favorable for cotton, even when we're disadvantaged in the economic part of this marketing triangle. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning is what are the other things we can do as a company and as a program to support the use of cotton and to push it and advance it, even when cotton might be at an economic disadvantage relative to polyester and nylon and other synthetic fibers. There are really 4 types of marketing that we want to talk to you about this morning. The way that we can inspire cotton use, ways that we can secure cotton use in products, things that we can do that are supporting the use of cotton among many companies. And then increasingly, a lot of our effort is in promoting compliance to make sure cotton is compliant with the requirements that brands, retailers, and the industry are setting for fibers. So we're going to start with inspiring use. And at this point, I'll turn the program over to Megan.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, let's start talking about how we inspire decision makers to use cotton. So frequently when people think about cotton, they think about basic t-shirts and denim jeans. But we all know, everyone on this call knows that cotton is so much more than these 2 products that you see here on your screen. Our job in the global supply chain marketing group is to really inspire decision makers to think about all the things that cotton can be and can do. And this is the key to building the demand for cotton in current product categories as well as new product categories. We have a number of activities dedicated to building the demand for cotton, starting with global events and sponsorships. So on the right-hand side of the screen here, you can see our Cotton Connection event. And this was an event we hosted in our Hong Kong office to connect suppliers and to brands and discuss new cotton opportunities. We had over 200 participants and exhibitors at this event. We also participate in industry events. In the middle of the screen, you'll see a picture at the Sourcing Journal's Fall Summit, where Mark was one of the keynote speakers. Also pictured here is an example of a webinar. This was an external webinar that featured our digital expert talking about all the new things that cotton can do in a digital format. So digital fabrics and our digital product creation process. These types of events and sponsorships are all great ways to inspire key decision makers with new ideas. Trade shows and one-on-one account meetings, they also offer a unique opportunity for our account team to work directly with decision makers. Here you can see several examples from Functional Fabric Fair. Functional Fabric Fair is a show that is geared toward fabric performance held in Portland, Oregon. We participate in this show twice a year, in addition to other trade shows. The other pictures on the screen are out of our Hong Kong office and show an example of our account meetings. This direct interaction with our staff helps decision makers to experience the latest trends as well as actually touch and feel the cotton fabric collections. These types of interactions also work really well with building relationships with key decision makers from an account management perspective. Relationships with the industry are so important to literally everything we do as a company. And knowing the right people in these companies really helps us to build demand and make sure that cotton can be the choice. So advertising to the supply chain is also a key driver in building demand. And you'll see some examples of our ads on the screen here. The ultimate goal is to inspire the industry to see these messages and then, of course, to take action. The desired action differs, honestly, across different platforms and different tactics. The action may be simply an awareness campaign, or it may be dedicated to engagement or also lead generation. But no matter what action we want them to take, our message is consistent across the trade audience. Our theme of the day, cotton can. So if you look across some of these ads, cotton can pioneer the future. Cotton can deliver strength. Cotton can deliver authentic cool. Ultimately, one of my favorites, cotton can instill confidence. And all of these messages inspire the decision maker to create in cotton. So what will you, the decision maker, create in cotton? We launched this new campaign last year, starting with some very positive feedback. Pre-testing before we went to market, we found that the data indicated that 73% of professionals found the ads extremely or very appealing. And 92% indicated they are more likely to use cotton for products after viewing these ads. This is the action. This is the action that we want people to take. We want them to see the message and then use more cotton. Currently, we have these ads running across all product market categories, from apparel to nonwovens to our home markets, through a variety of publications that you can see here on the screen. I'm sure you're familiar with a few of them. We, of course, track impressions. We track click-through rates, and we measure those against industry benchmarks. And we're also able to easily adjust our placements to adapt and to reach our target market in the most effective ways. The other thing you'll see on this screen is several social media channels, which we also have a presence in. And again, this is trade focused. The one that I want to talk about today that we're really excited about is one of our newest platforms, which is YouTube. Not only are we advertising on YouTube, but we have just launched, as of last week, our Cottonworks YouTube channel. Again, this targets the supply chain and is key in building the demand with informative and educational content. So the site hosts right now some of our popular webinars. It hosts sustainability content, information on some of our technologies, which Mark is going to talk about shortly, and then, of course, our learning hub. And these are those valuable technical textile videos to help the industry make better cotton products. Last week, we launched the site with 30 videos, and we continue to add to this channel. So subscribe and come back often. We'll also have some exciting updates later this year. So make sure you subscribe to see this new type of content that we'll be rolling out that's going to do a great job of connecting our fashion trend to our digital fabrics and even the physical creation of our Fabricast fabrics. Inspiration can come in so many ways. This one is a wonderful example of that. And one of our best examples is our work in our New York office to release regular fashion forecast. So here on the screen, you can see the latest general release for spring summer 26. This actually came out last year. It seems so far away for many of us on this call, but remember, product developers are designing several seasons ahead to allow for the product development process to take place in a timely manner. The cotton trend releases feature digital fabric that you can see in the upper right-hand corner and garment examples, as well as inspirational fabrics from our Fabricast line. And what we're really working hard to do is to connect those fabrics in Fabricast and our trend forecast to suppliers. This is ultimately where we can really influence demand, to offer the industry an idea that they can easily source. So one very recent example of this work is with a leading supplier out of Asia. The company's name is Gim Lee. Gim Lee has created a fabric and a garment collection to inspire the brands they work with and show them new ideas. After all, they want more cotton business too, just like us. So what's cool about this is their collection included 13 of our inspirational Fabricast fabrics that they in turn commercialized. They included 8 additional fabrics that we provided, and they created 30 garment styles with all of these fabrics. So why is this important? This is important because Gim Lee is a large company. They operate in 6 countries, and they sell to major U.S. brands like Walmart, Macy's, Tommy Hilfiger, DKNY. So this is a great example of how we can take our inspirational work in trend and fabrics and our digital product creation efforts and help them to be commercialized and pushed through the supply chain by our partners. So in this case, Gim Lee is extending our marketing efforts and really helping us to build the demand for cotton. With that, let me turn the mic back to Mark to talk about our next item, securing use for cotton.
Thank you, Megan. So we can inspire companies, but we want to complete the deal. And there are a couple ways that we can actually secure, we can guarantee the use of cotton in products. One of those is through our technologies, and another way is through our Seal of Cotton licensing program. When it comes to technologies, if you think back to the marketing triangle, we have marketing reasons, economic reasons, and technical performance reasons. So if we're not competitive with our other fibers in terms of economics, we've got to find other parts of that marketing triangle where cotton does have a competitive advantage. And we can do that in things like technology. So we have a suite of technologies like trans dry, wicking windows, pure press, natural stress, tough cotton, and storm cotton. And these types of technologies offer brands or retailers a way to enhance their product, offer engineered value, if you will, to their customer. For each one of these technologies, Cotton Incorporated has in place a contract, a legal agreement with that brand or retailer. That agreement allows them to use Cotton Incorporated's intellectual property, our license to them to use these technologies. In exchange for that, they agree in a contract to use a certain minimum amount of cotton in their product. So if you think about it this way, we offer a technology, they offer a guaranteed amount of cotton use. So that's how these technologies can stimulate demand for cotton. And every time we get an adoption, every time you hear something from our colleagues at the Cotton Board about another cotton in the market adoption, you have to understand that there's a contract behind that adoption that guarantees a certain amount of cotton. And we set the percentages of cotton at different levels depending on the products. But basically, these technologies are like bait on a hook. We can get companies to bite, and when they do that, we can get them to commit to using cotton. And when we do that, it quite often displaces the use of synthetic fiber. So it's advancing the use of cotton in different categories. Now, to get these adoptions, it's sometimes a long and tedious process. And Cotton Incorporated has experts in textiles and technology. We also have many seasoned experts at Cotton Incorporated who've worked in many different companies in the industry. And their expertise in manufacturing and problem solving gives Cotton Incorporated a tremendous capability to support the adoption of these technologies. It's not as easy as sending a company a recipe for how to use storm cotton. Sometimes you have to work with their supplier mills, show them how to process it, make sure they get the right quality products that they can bring to market. So you can see in this picture here, many different stages that take place, and Cotton Incorporated supports and assists companies throughout this adoption process. And the end result, something we all hope for, is that brands and retailers will see the value of these performance technologies, and then they will engage with Cotton Incorporated and commit in a contract to introducing programs in cotton and using a minimum amount of cotton, guaranteed minimum. So you see some examples of this here with one of our very popular technologies, tough cotton. Tough cotton's an abrasion-resistant technology. It resists abrasion, but it also keeps the fabric feeling soft, which makes it wonderful for things like children's clothes. But you can see the results of our effort at Cotton Incorporated are significant with just this technology. You can see on the left side of the table here, many US brands that are currently offering this technology in products that they have in the market. But we don't limit our activity just to the US. We're always looking for large brands and significant companies in foreign markets as well, because that increases the overall use of cotton, and that benefits all of us and contributes to our efforts to build strong cotton demand. And just in 2024, just this one technology, tough cotton, we were able to license the use of that on more than 50 million garments. So that's a whole lot of product, and that's actually tens of thousands of bales of cotton. So the next time you go into a cotton warehouse somewhere in the Cotton Belt, and you think that maybe a small or medium-sized warehouse might have 20 to 40,000 bales in it, like one that we visit quite often in Arkansas, half the capacity of that warehouse is being eaten up. It's being used just through the licensing of one technology like this in 1 year. So that is significant effort and real movement of pounds and bales of cotton. So we'll continue to market these types of technologies to secure cotton use. Another way that we secure cotton use is through the seal of cotton. And I noticed earlier, before we started the presentation, in Jeff Nunley's video, he had the seal of cotton showing behind him, and that's great. We love to see that. And every time you see that seal of cotton out there on product, you also need to understand that that's not just decoration. That's not just our flag for cotton. That's actually a license agreement with that company to put the seal of cotton on product. And in order for them to qualify for that license agreement, they must hit a certain minimum use of cotton. And once they have that and they put the seal on the product and in the packaging, that's a way for us to secure the use of cotton, because now that license holds that company, commits them to continuing to offer that high quality and high volume of cotton in that product. So the seal is a great license. It's our industry identifier, but it also is a way we can secure the use of cotton in products. We work a lot in apparel and home textiles, but sometimes we get other opportunities. And last year we worked with a company called Base, and you can see some really beautiful product here with these travel bags. And these were cotton. They had a polyester liner, but what's significant is there's a whole lot of cotton in that product. And by weight, that's what we're looking for, pounds and bales of cotton. So this company was also a seal licensee. We were able to license them to use the seal on their products and in their marketing, and you can see some of the web pages here featuring the seal of cotton. So this is, again, a way that we can, from apparel to home textiles to even products like this, lock in and secure the use of cotton in products that contain the licensed seal of cotton. So there's a third area of work that we do to support and market cotton by supporting users of cotton. So let me turn it back to Megan.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I love that Base product. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do that. It's a beautiful product. So as Mark said, an important part of building demand or maintaining demand in our area is supporting companies who are using cotton, whether that be a mill, a brand, or a retailer. So our work in this area is kind of like a warranty for cotton. So here's kind of one way to think about this. Think about the last time you bought a product or even like a piece of equipment. There may be a customer service number to call if you have a problem, or there may be a salesman that sold that to you. And he may continue to call on you, whether on phone or in person, to make sure you're happy with your purchase, but also he's trying to sell you more too. So this is a great way to think about our technical education workshops. So our technical education workshop program teaches decision makers how to use better, how to make better cotton products, period. How to make better cotton products. This learning could be brand new education for some decision makers, or it could be solving problems for some decision makers. But the bottom line is if we don't help them to make better products out of cotton or to solve those problems, then they're going to change to another fiber. There really is no loyalty to fiber in this business. So we offer in our workshop program in-person and virtual workshops. Our goal is to meet decision makers where they are. So as you can see here in these images, our workshop program includes classroom work as well as hands-on learning in our Cotton Incorporated labs here in Cary, North Carolina, where the topics make sense. So two wonderful examples here are our denim manufacturing and color. These are great examples of workshops that we can host here in Cary in our labs. So I know this is a busy slide, but I want to kind of impart on you the large number of companies and brands and retailers that are participating in our program. If you squint, you might be able to see a couple of brands that you recognize. There are certainly many brands that are on our board that participate in our program. The workshop program is the leading textile education program in the industry. And what makes it unique is it's the only one solely focused on cotton. In 2024, we had 37 workshops and 28 topics across the US and virtually. We know that not everyone can attend in person, and especially going into this year, there's going to be budget and travel restrictions. So we're increasing the number of virtual workshops for this coming year. Again, remember, we want to meet the decision makers where they are. This list is from 2024, but it shows you in a legible font size the top 10 companies that participated in our program. The top three here you can see are Kohl's, Nike, and JCPenney. So these are well-known companies that really speaks to the value of our program. In 2024, we had over 1,100 decision makers in attendance in a variety of job roles. And you can see some examples of job titles here. They range from product developers to sustainability, technical designers, quality engineering folks. But these decision makers have one thing in common. They have the choice. They have the choice to use cotton or they have the choice to use another fiber. Again, they have no loyalty to us, but if we can support their use, if we can help them along the way, if we can help them make better cotton products, we will keep them in cotton. This is how we can build demand for cotton in the supply chain. So not only do we try to keep them in cotton, but in many cases, in just 2 days, we've turned them into cotton advocates. So one of the most unique parts of our program is free access to a team of textile experts. And so not only do these experts really lead the coursework, but they also spend a lot of group time and one-on-one time solving problems with attendees. It is very, very common for attendees to bring samples with them. Once a person attends one of our workshops, they understand the value of these textile experts and they come prepared the next time. They bring samples of issues they're having so that we can help them solve that. We either teach them how to solve it or teach them how to communicate with their mill to solve the problem. So throughout these 1 and 2 day programs, attendees, they build a solid foundation in their practice and they learn how to apply it to their everyday job. They also learn about the resources we have to offer. They meet our account teams. They walk away with a new confidence in cotton. And again, they share that with their colleagues and suppliers, again, becoming a true cotton advocate. We often get asked, what types of problems are you trying to solve? So in the workshop area that we just discussed, we are doing workshops based on industry needs and feedback. And we change those topics frequently. But at the bottom of the screen here, I'm going to reverse this slide. But at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see some of those workshop topics focused on issues. So skewing. Skewing is the twisting of the fabric. Pilling. Pilling is the little fuzzy balls on fabrics that you might get, for lack of a more technical term. And you often find these now, like today, on microfiber sheeting, sweaters, or kind of other short staple fabrics. And then, of course, shrinkage. We're probably all more familiar with shrinkage. But beyond our workshop program, we also work one-on-one with companies to solve their problems. Some of this work is confidential, so I can't say company names, but I can tell you that we've helped solve problems on durability issues, regulation challenges, which Mark's going to talk about in detail in the next section, product performance, as well as technology testing and evaluation. So I want to share, before I move on, 2 quotes. I want to focus on the first one here, but these 2 quotes are really great comments or feedback that we've received from the industry. The first one is from a manufacturer named Corman. Their brand is Organics. Do not confuse this with organic cotton. That is their brand name. But our non-woven staff was able to create a program that connected suppliers and brands in the non-wovens area who are having trouble sourcing raw materials that were non-irritating and also met product regulations. And so here's the feedback from Corman. The Cotton Incorporated buyer review program put organics in front of key buyers and resulted in connections with retailers such as CVS and others. For the first time, Organics brands cotton adult care line is being considered for expansion, giving consumers more access to no leaks, no odor, which is great for cotton, no irritation protection, also great for cotton. And it says that only cotton can provide. So this is a wonderful example, firsthand example of how we can build demand in the market. So thinking about that warranty for cotton, our support extends past these in-person workshops, past the in-person one-on-one. We're like a 24/7 helpline, minus those terrible chat bots that we all hate. But we are available 24/7 at our cottonworks.com website. You can find answers to many of your questions. What makes this site so powerful is the variety and the depth of content. This is a full slide again, but what I wanted to impart on you is that this website hosts so much information from sustainability content to technical expertise, technical textiles, to marketing content. These are just a few examples of some of the marketing content that we have on the site, as well as educational resource videos. Again, this barely hits all of the topics that we have on that very in-depth website. But of course, I want to also remind you of the cottonworks.com website here on the bottom of the screen, and hopefully you'll check it out and come back. We are launching a brand new website at the end of the quarter here as well. The other thing I want to share on this slide is that we can, of course, measure and monitor metrics as it relates to the website and even the topics that you see here on the screen. We also know how visitors get there. And so most of the traffic now is coming from organic search, which means if you go to Google and you type in a word like cotton knit and you find your way to our site, that is organic search. So we are seeing that there are many people getting to us that way, and they're staying on our site, which means that they're finding valuable information. But what's really interesting about the metrics that we have are in the recent data analysis and looking at kind of the changing landscape here, we are seeing a lot of our traffic coming from AI sites or artificial intelligence, tools like ChatGPT. This is exciting for us because we know that there's a large amount of doubt in some of the AI tools, especially as it relates to the accuracy of the content they're producing. But if the user is being directed to our website, which we know is accurate, factual, and data-driven from these AI sites, then we know that they're getting the correct information as it relates to cotton. So if this is our future, if this is our future Google searching, I definitely think that we're on the right path to be successful in these platforms. Mark, do you want to wrap up the presentation?
Yes, thanks, Megan. Let me take just a couple minutes more and talk about another way that we're spending a lot of time and effort marketing cotton, and that's by promoting compliance. And more, the industry, or let me rephrase it this way, the customers for cotton, brands, retailers, manufacturers, those customers are being faced with a lot of challenges, regulatory challenges, trade challenges, uncertainty. And in a business where it is certainly global and most of the products sold, like apparel in the United States, well over 95% of what's sold is imported. we have to work with the customers of cotton who are bringing in cotton and cotton products from around the world. So when you see issues like those on the slide here, and these come from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection website, whether it's the Uyghur Forced Labor Act, whether it's issues related to cotton coming from Xinjiang and restrictions and what's allowed into the U.S., or requirements for companies to document information that proves that they're not using cotton from areas like Xinjiang that are restricted. It's important for companies to understand these issues, and it's important for our program to understand the impact on cotton. So we're spending a lot of time looking at these types of issues to understand them. We're not a policy company. We're not a policy and lobbying organization, but we have to make an effort, and we do, to understand these types of public policies because they impact what we are about, and that's the demand for cotton. So in these types of issues, our position is to understand these topics, understand the rules, the regulations, and where they're going, and then help companies understand the aspects of cotton that they need to know to prepare them to deal with and be compliant with the requirements that are out there. So if you look at our Cotton Works website that Megan just mentioned, we've dedicated a lot of information like traceability information to help companies understand more about cotton. And this is something that is a particularly strong competitive advantage for U.S. cotton. And we try and play that up and promote that wherever we can, especially again on this issue of traceability. And it's programs too, like the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol, that are able to take the most of what U.S. farmers are doing as the most responsible cotton producers in the world and turn that into a competitive advantage in supporting companies that are trying to deal with these regulations and be compliant. So I just want to put in a plug here because I'm a strong believer in the trust protocol, and I want to encourage growers and other members of the cotton community to get behind that program, to join that, because it again helps companies understand in a very transparent way, in a very convincing way, the advantage of U.S. cotton when it comes to things like traceability and responsible production. So these are ways that we're going to help the industry be compliant. But it's also our work at Cotton Incorporated looking at things like traceability technologies. And we've invested quite a bit of time and effort over the last 3 years, in particular, looking at the specific technologies that are out there to evaluate cotton. And while we don't endorse a particular technology, we do provide guidance. And at Cotton Incorporated, we have a task force led by Dr. Vicki Martin in our fiber competition area. And several of us work on that task force to look at these different technologies and then advise the industry about what they need to know so that they can ask good, insightful, and intelligent questions as they're trying to figure out how to apply technologies or traceability information to cotton. Over the last year, we've taken quite a deep look at the regulatory landscape. And this chart is from a report that was done by a European consultant, proprietary report for Cotton Incorporated, to identify the different regulations and the upcoming policy issues that will affect the demand for textiles, the demand for fibers. And then ultimately, we want to think about how these upcoming regulations will affect the use of cotton. So we've spent extensive amount of time trying to understand these regulations. And there are a lot of efforts in the industry. I know Dr. Terry Townsend, I think, is on this program this morning attending, and he's led a very strong effort to try and understand these regulations and to advance knowledge about cotton. And that's important because as we look at all these different types of regulations, there is a need for good, objective, science-based information about cotton. If you look in this picture here under the bubble that's labeled 2027, and you look down at the bottom there, you'll see what's referred to in bold as the digital product passport. This is just one example of upcoming regulations. What is a digital product passport? It's like your life story on a product. A digital product passport will require manufacturers of textiles and other fiber products to detail and provide all of the type of information you see here in this picture. Everything about where the material came from, to environmental impact, to who touched it in the supply chain, all the way through to end of life, how you can recycle or dispose of this. So this digital product passport is a product's life story. And that information will be attached to every single product. And this is where Cotton Incorporated and the Cotton Research and Promotion Program really have a strong role to play in providing good, objective information and science so that as these regulations take hold, we are in a position to help the industry understand the facts and the correct information about cotton so that we are not disadvantaged by these types of regulations when decision makers are going to have that choice between cotton and other fibers. And we want them to have all the information and accurate information about cotton. So even in these tough times when prices aren't where we want them to be, and they'll come back, but right now it's tough and we know that. But we have to take the long play here. We have to continue to look at where regulations are going, things that will affect demand years from now, and make sure through the Cotton Research and Promotion Program, we're building that foundation of information, good science that will ultimately make the case for cotton and get companies to choose cotton when they're selecting an ingredient for their products. So these are some of the ways that through the Cotton Research and Promotion Program, we can continue to market cotton, get it in front of the decision makers. So we thank you for your time this morning. And at this point, we'll turn the program back to the Cotton Board, and we're happy to answer any questions.